I spent 7 years living up in the most visited ski town in America in Breckenridge, Colorado. Well, Summit County in and around Breckenridge, Colorado. And even in that place that my entire life revolved around, the place I wanted to be the most up until that point, I still wanted to take road trips to get out and about. So let me know in the comments where you're at, the area that you're staying now, whether it's your hometown or, you know, an adventurous location like many of them that you'll see on my channel. Do you get cabin fever? Do you need to be gone, travel and see something different, even if you're in paradise? Or do you love the comfort of home and all the conveniences and routine and everything, just the normalcy? Let me know what you guys think. Let me tell you a little bit about my kind of interesting discovery over time. I spent 346 days, mostly on the central coast of California, Pismo Beach area, camping out on the beach, camping in the national forest on the mountains. And even then, I got real stir crazy and wanted to just get out and see and do different things. So for me, being back in the safety and comfort of home, around the people I care about the most, around my client, around opportunity, around the ability to make sure my vehicle is ready for the next big adventures, it's painful. It's a little bit rough because it's not in my nature to be in any one place for too long. And 30 plus years of my 42 years on this planet I've spent seeing those views. I know it real well. Now we're making arguably the most boring drive in the United States of America, from Wichita, Kansas out to Colorado Springs. Same thing pretty much, Colorado Springs and Denver. We're driving westbound on I-70, which is nothing but flat wheat fields. The only signs you see are road signs, a few billboards, a gun show sign over there. But for the most part, traffic is real thin. There's no real cities along the way, just some little towns and some rolling wheat fields. But this is outside of the few miles that I've been looking at for the last 147 days. So the interesting thing, there was a lot of discomfort I chose to subject myself to, living out of this presidential motorcade SUV I turned into a tiny home. Living out on the beach, I had a gym membership, a workout, it was 6 to 7 days a week. Then for a while we were doing 13 a day, cardio 7 days a week, strength training 6 days a week. And right now I'm kind of mellowing out, giving my body a reset before a real hard spring cut where we're going to be back to 13, 14 days a week in the gym, real restrictive nutrition, etc. So I always had a place to get showers. I knew where all the flush toilets were, which are actually kind of a challenge to get access to in California. And, I had my porta potty if I needed, if I was out in the woods. And so I had it all figured out. But definitely uncomfortable, inconvenient, but beautiful views everywhere, all the time. Healthy people, lifestyles and cultures that were congruent with the things that are important to me, to being active, to eating proper, to being outside. I haven't had my own television in like a decade. Probably never will again, who knows. And being in places like the Colorado mountains, like the California Central Coast, there are a lot of other people that live lives that are, have parallels. Being back in Wichita, Kansas, very few and far between. Planet Fitness in California was full of fit, active, healthy people and homeless people using the showers. And back in Kansas, fairly empty, mostly out of shape people. And those that are kind of living the fitness lifestyle are not taking it to the level that is pretty average and normal out on the West Coast. So, I guess everywhere has its own microcultures, and there's a lot of great things about home, but man, I have needed to be on the road. Now, I'm doing something extremely exciting. Well, it's February, heading up to 8,000 feet. It's cold, it's windy, nothing's in bloom, not real pretty. And in all honesty, if I wasn't going to do something that is extremely important for my future and, you know, my purpose and a lot of really awesome content on this channel, I would not be heading this way. I would be heading down to the Florida Panhandle to hang out for at least a few weeks and just see something different there. But I'm heading up to a place where I'm going to buy a piece of land, put up a tiny home, be, you know, somewhat off grid, and I'll tell you more about all that. There's some really cool things that are going to make some awesome channel content. But I guess I'm curious again just to hear what you guys think about the normalcy of wherever you're at. If you are in your absolute paradise, do you still need to see something different? Is the open road as important to you as it is to me, or traveling, or just a change of scenery? Or are you more like the person that really, you know, you find your comfort zone, you like it, you'd rather just stay in it, you know where everything is, you know how it all works? Because I think there's a place for people of all these mindsets in the world. And it takes a lot of different types to make the world turn and to work together. We all can't be everything all the time, so we find our place. If we're fortunate enough, we actually find our place that we want in this life and desire in this world. And that's been a huge part of my mission. You know, first to really get this squared away for myself, and then to be able to utilize that as an avenue to have a really positive impact on other people's lives. And so for me, you know, obviously the channel, we'll see if I keep changing the name, but it is, you know, the three words that are really the most important to me: adventure, fitness, and freedom. Now I'm a single guy, I'm divorced, I don't have kids, and I've recognized more and more that, you know, I don't personally have that draw to have kids. I'm sure if I did have kids, I would love them, and it would be an amazing experience, and everybody, all my friends and family that have them tell me how awesome it is. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I've never had the desire. And now I've come to a point where I've truly fallen in love with being able to pursue my own path, to develop my relationship with myself, to develop myself. And I'm not really interested in relationships and dating and hookups. It all just seems like it's energy, it's time, it's emotion, it's money that takes away from my mission. Which again, as I get everything squared away, is going to be having a real positive impact on the world, helping, you know, especially divorced men who feel lost and you know, just not achieving their purpose or having the impact that they could on the world, or doing as much with their life as they could, because, you know, like me, I live in a world that says things are a certain way, and we're supposed to get our education and then go have somebody else tell us what to do, how to do it, when and where to be, who to be, and then get paid a value that they determine for us. And, you know, there is nobody that's more indoctrinated into that mindset than me. I come from a family of educators, multiple generations, in every direction, and everybody's got a college degree. I've got a university degree. It wasn't the right thing for me, but I didn't know anything different. So as I start realizing, and especially it's 2025 now, instead of a bunch of general information that for most people, if you don't have something specific like being an engineer, doctor, medical professional, etc., yeah, I think there's a lot of times that, although there's plenty of value in the college degree, there's a lot of great experience, there's a lot of exposure to good things, you know, thoughts, you do expand your mind. There are other ways to achieve the things a college degree does with less time, less opportunity cost, less money, and be much more specific about achieving what you actually do want to do. You know, now the internet, man, we can get information and instructions and guidance and blueprints for things that, you know, if you were to dedicate 4 years to whatever your desire may be, to drop shipping, to internet marketing, to you know, developing a social media presence and having your own products, or, you know, whatever it may be, and you spent the same amount of time on that as you did on college, by the end of that 4 years, if you're not massively successful, you will have the prerequisites to become massively successful in less time than what it would take to apply that college degree, to go get a career, to pay your dues 10, 15 plus years before you make your way to kind of mid-level in that. And there's a cap. You're very limited. You're only going to get paid so much. Somebody else is going to say, this is what you're worth. This is how much you're going to get. You know, you get promoted a few times, you'll get a little bit more. But then you see people who figure this stuff out, who put in the work. You know, they might take 10 years to be an overnight success, to become an overnight success, but they figure it out. And there's ways with everything that we have access to with just a phone to be able to make, oh man, I got cops on all sides of me, to be able to make tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, am I there yet? No. Sorry, get past these cops here. I feel like that might be another one on my tail, but they can't see me talking on my camera, and I'm not driving like a butthead. So, you know, there are two parts to this pursuit of freedom. There are a lot of parts to it, but in terms of financial freedom, financial sovereignty, that is a huge part of this pursuit for me. And with that, there's, you know, whether it's a business, whether it's a government, whether it's personal finance, there's pretty much two parts to this. Spend less and make more. And I can live very happily, very fulfilling life, very comfortably on very little now. I've been able to detach myself from material needs and desires, you know, outside of the comforts and basics and tools that I need to do what I want to do. You know, I get a lot more fulfillment out of creating than consuming. I'd rather be here talking on the camera and traveling than trading my time for money than going out and stockpiling crap that has no purpose and then getting old and looking back and saying, hey, cool, I have a lot of stuff. You know, someday I know I'm going to have the ability to obtain whatever I want with cash, and I'm sure I'll have a little bit of fun with that. But for the most part, if these things don't serve purpose in my life, I want nothing to do with them, because they're taking away from my mission, they're taking away from my purpose, they're costing me time. This is all too valuable to me to give up for most things. The things that matter to me are traveling, or having my adventures, or having the experiences that most people think they're going to do after they work long enough and hard enough and save enough money and get retired, and then they can't play in the way I could play. They can't run around, they can't hike, they can't go downhill mountain biking, they can't go snowboarding. I'm not trying to wait until I'm 65 or 70 years old to go to places that I can't even do the things that I want to do anymore. If I even make it that long in this world, you never know. No moment is guaranteed at all. Every day you wake up is a blessing. And, you know, every day I walk. I spent a good portion of my life not walking, and another huge portion of it learning how to walk again, and doing so very painfully. And it's still painful to walk. But that's something that, if I get up in the middle of the night to go walk over to the restroom, it's a heck of a lot easier now than it has been at different points in my life. And, you know, I feel gratitude for the most basic things. My vision. I had LASIK surgery, and, you know, for the first 23 years of my life, so just a little over half of my life, I had a pretty severe astigmatism, and it's been a year since I've had my eyes checked, and they're one of them's a little better than 20/20, one of them's on the low end of 20/20. So something I'm very grateful for. But back to, okay, I have learned how to live beneath my means very happily, very comfortably, and do awesome things, and do it on a low budget and find ways to sustain it. And that's actually part of this next step here, buying this piece of land with water, where I have very, very, very limited building restrictions, and I can basically set up, after everything's said and done, I figure under $40,000 to have a home with electricity and water, and whether it's an incinerating toilet or septic, and just have a place that I can come back to as I'm off having my adventures and travels and everything. And I'm going to do this preferably without the bank, without paying interest. We'll see how possible that is. So, you know, I think I've got half of this puzzle truly figured out that most people don't. Most people, you know, we live in this society, hey, we have to spend money, we need stuff, buy. Oh, I can't wait until I go out, blow my money on expensive meals and get more junk and get clothes that I don't actually need any more of, and get the next watch or the next phone, or, I've gotten really good at not wasting any money, which is time, just costing my purpose. I've gotten really good at not taking away from that purpose. I'm not wasting time for things that don't move me forward in life, that don't serve a purpose. And that is allowing me the capacity to focus my time and energy on the things that matter, which are building my content and brand, developing my voice, so I will have enough reach so that I can create this true freedom where I don't have to trade my time for money, even though right now, I'm full-time self-employed, doing awesome contract work for an amazing company, making good, comfortable money. A group of companies doing marketing, video production, social media for the world's largest custom motorcycle manufacturer, an off-road motorsports company, a firearms manufacturer, and an aircraft parts coating company. For most people, boy, you've pretty much made it there, and I still have the capacity to take on more clients if I want them. And I actually have another business up my sleeve where I can make more money working just half the year. And I've already got proof of concept. I ran a business like that for a while, and that's my fallback. But not necessary. Not necessary. I feel that I'm moving forward in a really good place. So, making more money. I don't believe that the path to true financial sovereignty, towards true freedom, comes in the form of working for someone else. Maybe, if as soon as you get out of high school, you get in with a company and you start investing immediately and it's compounding, by the time you hit 60, maybe you've still got some good energy and mobility, and you've got enough interest that it's compounding that if you're wise and conservative with your spending, you might be able to be coasting by then. But I'm already in my 40s, and my investments are not that big. I've got a good chunk of precious metals that I physically own, crypto investments, crypto trades that aren't worth that much altogether, and then I'm going to be purchasing this piece of land, which, everything except for the altcoins is going to be a good store of value. The Bitcoin's a good store of value. The silver's a good store of value. The land is a good store of value. Probably not going to get rich on most of it. I'll keep dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, but I believe I've seen it over and over again that people who have a voice and either have a digital product, have a physical brand like, an apparel brand, have a mix of both combined with streams of revenue for monetizing. There, multiple different streams of revenue, products. There is so much opportunity in the world in 2025 right now that as long as I can free up my capacity to where I don't have to sell most of my life, sell most of my time to someone else, sell most of my life to someone else for them to make profit, I have whatever it's going to take, for as long as it's going to take, to develop my voice, to develop my brand, to where I can actually move products, whether it be digital products or apparel. And for some people, I think that's easy. It's second nature. For me, some of it is. I'm a great storyteller. I'm a great video producer. It's what my background was in. But man, this social media world this is weird. It's different, Before, I had a captive audience. I had a storyline. It was a very certain way. But now with the algorithm, it changes it. Like, it can be a beautiful, amazing story. And even if you get it in front of the right viewer, they've still got an infinite amount of choices and ADD. So you still might not retain them. It might take several weeks, several months, or maybe several years for a video to take off. My most viral video seemed like a flop for the first 3 weeks, and now it's closing in on 500,000 views. So we'll see over time, but it's a really exciting yet scary moment. DeepSeek has only been out for a week or two. Trump's been in office for about 3 weeks. Things are getting really weird. They're going to only get crazier as AI continues to accelerate at an immeasurable pace. And we're going to lose a lot of jobs. A lot of changes are going to happen over just the next couple years. So, it's interesting. When I was trying to kind of figure all this out, when I came home about 3.5 years ago, No, this might have even been 5 years ago. I thought about going to get my MBA, Master's of Business Administration, for those of you that don't know it. But the thing is, I know deep down in my heart that I hate class. I hate working in a corporate structure. I hate selling my time for somebody else. And I would have ended up spending another couple years of opportunity costs that I could have been dedicated towards something of true value for the long run for me, just to get a degree so that I could do something that I hate and get paid a little more for it. And I think it's so important. We've lived in this time where we are trained into a slave mentality from before kindergarten, that our job is to follow directions, is to sit quietly, is to raise our hand to get permission to speak, is to have someone else give us directions, someone else sets our objectives, someone else tells us our value. And that benefits the big picture, the politicians, the big business owners. Although we're coming into a moment where, yes, they're still going to need subordinates who sit and follow directions so they can have their time marked up for a profit. It's going to be less and less people. There's going to be less and less equitable opportunity for people who have valuable skills and experience. So for me, do I want to keep fighting an uphill battle that is going to end up as a losing proposition for, I believe, 90% of people within the current job paradigm over the next probably 5 years? Or do I want to spend as much time as it takes to get this brand going, to be able to help people, to be able to encourage and inspire others to pursue the most true and authentic version of themselves, to help divorced men get sober and fit and really become everything that they're capable of becoming? Even if that means I make the most beautiful, amazing, inspirational video ever, something I'm proud of, something I invest heavily in, and then it gets 200 views. Well, at the end of that, guess what? I've got this amazing video that I will have to look back on for the rest of my life, because my stories I tell when I actually edit together my videos, they're amazing. I love them. I'm very proud of them, whether they perform or not. And they do perform over time and pick up more and more. And I know that as my channel and brand grows, all my videos will get more views. And it's something I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about stockpiling crap that I don't need. I'm passionate about telling stories. I'm passionate about inspiration. I'm passionate about continuing to hone my craft, to understand the new and interesting and different environments and challenges, and being older than a lot of people that are doing it and doing it better than them. Maybe I'm not getting the same views or growth yet, but my content itself, when in front of the right people, is more entertaining, more valuable, more beautiful than a lot of the other stuff out there. So my experience that I'm creating for myself here, I'm basically writing my own eulogy every day as I continue to create. I'm making things that will outlast myself. My message will outlast my life. And the more I focus on this for the rest of my life, the more that legacy will live on, the more good that I can bring into the world even after I'm gone. And all along, while doing it with the initial avenue of freeing up capacity by living beneath my means, by finding ways to live an amazing life for a very low price, so that I can dedicate my time and energy for creating and not trading hours for dollars to just survive, to just pay interest, to just pay bills, and then seek out escapes, video games, television, drugs, alcohol, and worse vices, just to try to make the miserable life I'm living okay by having a reprieve from the daily, weekly, monthly monotony on the weekends or evenings. Not what I'm seeking out, and that is the path that society put me on. That is the path that mainstream education put me on. And that path that worked for our parents and grandparents doesn't produce the same outcome for us anymore. Will not get you the same result, so you have to trade more time and energy and skills and education to get less buying power, less quality of life. Why do I want to fight that never-ending battle that you're gonna lose? So I'm out here in my 40s, building a new beginning, And it might take me a decade to become an overnight success, but it's coming. I've got everything into it. I'm sober, I'm fit, I'm getting more fit every single day, and I got a lot of love to bring into the world. And I've got a lot of love for myself. And I'm just going to keep enjoying riding solo, bringing good vibes into the world. So, hey, for anybody that stuck through this ramble, I appreciate it. I hope you're out there seeking the best version of yourself, really trying to find what truly matters to you in this life, and then start to figure out how to make it happen. It's not easy, it's not comfortable, and it doesn't happen fast. Not for a vast, vast, vast majority of us. But it's so worth it. Once you start down that path, once you know where you're going, your time has purpose, and the work you put in, whether you see a return on investment immediately or not, you know you're moving towards something worth it. So, stay sober, stay fit, eat healthy, and have an awesome day, week, month, and year. Catch you in the next one.